This is Money Motivation and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of all the controls and the show is Jason Wainwright. I don't ever put that in there, Jason. And hello to you, world. This is the show that can and will change your life. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all our new content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which we put out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. Jason, the reason I threw that out there is I had a person this week ask me how you and I are kin to each other, or if we were. Mm-hmm. They suspected we were with our last names. I said, actually, he's my brother. And we were both named after our grandfather, Wainwright. Michael Wainwright?
Yes.
Jason Wainwright.
Right.
What a deal. And we also have another brother named Robert Wainwright that is no longer with us. God rest his soul.
You have to let me know who that is off the air. Who asked?
Oh, okay. One of those 184,000 subscribers we have right now on our YouTube channel.
There you go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And before I get into what we're going to discuss today, which is the one big, beautiful bill, I have now had a chance to read through all 85,000 pages. Not. Have you pulled it up online?
I've took a look at the highlights.
You know, the whereas and the therefores and all those things.
Yeah, and if you read it, you read more than any other senator out there.
I'd like to know how many people it takes to put that together. You don't think one little guy gets over in a corner and just starts typing?
Oh,
do you?
no. No.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think my fingers would have fell off of that for that one.
Yes.
It's probably all voice.
You think it's, hey,
let's
text. It's not in there, Jason, where it says, hey, let's cut taxes by 15%.
Yeah.
Let's spend more money over here. They don't do that.
No.
But that's how they do it whenever they start enacting on what they wrote up. All right, before I get into all that, we got to do some motivational personal growth stuff here first. How about this? 7 things you should do before 7 a.m. every morning. Okay. Before I get into it, what do you think the number one thing you should do?
Make your bed.
Okay, it's not on the list.
Come on now.
Well, I think it's like number 9.
Oh.
And I've only got 7. Yeah. Drink water. First thing.
Okay.
Start drinking water. It refreshes you.
Not coffee, huh?
It does not say coffee.
I got to have 2 cups of coffee.
I think coffee's bad for you, isn't it? Addictive, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a coffee drinker.
I can't do without it.
Never had a cup of coffee in 56 years.
Well, half and half, I guess.
Yeah. Now,
mine's mostly creamer.
I also don't like hot drinks, except for some hot chocolate. Drink water. Number 2. Now, this would not have applied 25 years ago, but it does today. Don't check your phone, because that phone's going to get you off track on whatever it is you were getting up to do. And let's just say you were getting up to do nothing other than maybe brush your teeth and get in the shower and possibly turn on the TV. That phone is going to change those actions. Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. Now, how long? Who knows? It could be 3 minutes. It could be 30 minutes. It could be all day. Don't check your phone. Number 3, work out for 30 minutes every day before 7 o'clock. Now, I'm not a morning workout person.
No, me neither.
I have to get up and get into my day and do some business, because I look at workout is relaxation and luxury, like a going out to play golf or something, an exercise, that I can't do that until I do this. I have to come in and make sure all the ducks are in a row and none of the eggs have been broken before I work out.
Yeah.
But I'm about every other day. Number 4, which nobody's a large word, most people do not do. Meditate for 10 minutes.
Ain't
Now-
got time for that.
Now, you don't have time for meditation?
No.
Let's just call it quiet time. Sit there and think about it for 10 minutes. Nothing. Think about nothing. Very difficult to do. Supposed to clear out your brain before you get into it. Once again, all before 7 o'clock in the morning. Number 5, got to get some education in here. Read for 5 minutes. Now, I would also say that includes reading on your phone, because it seems like 99% of the stuff we get is off that phone. So I guess by now we can bring the phone back into play, because it was drink and don't do phone 1 and 2. But, you know, some people get up and read their Bible. Some people get up and read the newspaper. Some people get up and read educational stuff, whatever. Read for 5 minutes. Number 6, hardly anyone does this, even though we talk about it a lot on this show. Review your goals. Review your goals. What do I got to do today? Whatever it is I want to do. What is my goal? And my goal may be to just get a haircut. My goal today may be to go work out for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And the last one. Now, you know, we've worked out, we've meditated, we've done some reading. Now we got to get ready to go. And the last thing we do is take a shower. This says take a shower before you eat, which I do.
Yeah. Same here.
I take the shower, I'm ready to go out the door, then I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing. Get my energy drink, a bar, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So there's your 7. And you want to make your bed up, which I'm in favor of. But I think in this day and age, these kids don't make their beds up, so we couldn't put it in the list. Now, frankly, and I'm just thinking about what I did this morning. First thing I did when I got up was make the bed. And then the bottle of water that I take to bed with me every night, whatever's left, I down that. So I do get off to these first 2.
Yeah. If you do nothing else for the rest of the day, you have at least accomplished something today.
You've made your mama and your grandmama and everybody else proud because you made your bed.
That's right. There you go.
Like I say, the workout comes later. I don't have quiet time for 10 minutes. Unfortunately, I think about all the time I'm wasting while I'm meditating. Bad deal.
Well, if you get up at 6:30 and need to get this all done by 7, you better start waking up by 4:30 or 5 now.
Now, I do read all the emails. I don't know if that really counts as education. The emails definitely want to tell me a few things. And I have goals every day. And one of my biggest goals is to get out of the office earlier than I did yesterday.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Exactly. And then we already talked about 7. So making the bed. Do you have any others down there you want to tell me about?
That's all I've got.
Make the bed.
Yeah.
Top of the list. That's the way it is. Okay. What are you thinking about drinking all that water?
It's good for you. I have 1 or 2 cups of coffee every morning. After that, it's all water, except for maybe a Red Bull or something.
Water is still the best drink ever.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. How about all those people? Do you know anybody? And I do. They always say they're sorry. They're always in any text. In any text. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. They just say they're sorry.
For no reason.
For no reason. Yeah. Man.
So you're just going throughout your day, you get a text and it says, I'm sorry?
Oh, man. Man, it's hot out there. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that type of deal.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sweating profusely. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry you're having to go through that,
Yeah.
I guess. That's the only thing I can think of.
Man, I'm dehydrated. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, be toughen up.
Yeah. I just overate today. I'm sorry. You know, it's whatever they say.
I know some people like
Yeah,
that.
I could go even a little farther. Yeah, man, I just robbed a bank and got caught. I'm sorry. That's who they are.
So that's what happens.
All right. So this is 10 ways to stop saying you're sorry and put it in another form or fashion. Personal growth, Jason. Personal growth.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry for the delay. How about thank you for your patience? Sorry to bother you. How many times do you hear that? Sorry to bother. If you're sorry to bother me, why are you bothering me?
Don't be sorry, just don't do it.
Yeah. I hear sorry to bother you a handful of times every day. Well, if you're sorry, why are you calling me? Sorry to bother you. Appreciate you making time for this. Woo. Sorry for the confusion. Let me clarify what that for you. So it's not confusing. It's confusing to you. Let me clarify. Sorry for asking so many questions. Are you really? Sorry for asking so many questions. I value your insight as I learn more. That is sophisticated, isn't it?
It's a nice spin on things.
Sorry I missed that. Thanks for catching that. I've updated it now. You missed something? Hey, thanks for catching that and pointing that out to me. I've updated it. Sorry for jumping in. Once again, no, you're not. May I offer a thought here, please? I feel like Johnny Carson down here reading off the
top 10 list or something like
yeah,
that.
No, that's Letterman.
Letterman,
yeah.
That's right.
Carson was Karnak. Karnak, he puts the letter up to the head and gives you the answer to what the question is. And
I was watching Letterman. You were watching Carson.
I watched them both.
Did you?
Absolutely.
I quit watching after Letterman now.
That's a wise choice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to do this. Could you walk me through this process of the next step? Sorry for venting. How about thank you for listening? All right, and here's another one. All right, yeah, I went over that one a while ago. Sorry for bothering you. Sorry to bother you. Here's the other one. Sorry for taking up your time. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this with you. There is your top 10 ways to quit saying you're sorry. Do you like that, Jason?
I like it.
Hopefully our 184,000 subscribers, not including our podcasters. And I've been hearing from a lot of podcasters. A lot. I was not aware, maybe it's naive on my part, that people listen like a person. Just like people listen to music. People listen to podcasts all day long.
There's a lot of people with jobs that they sit there at a desk, at a computer, and they need something going on in their head.
With their earplugs or whatever it is.
I mean, forget what they're actually being paid to do. They usually just have to have something going on in their head, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. One of our listeners, you'll be happy to know this, has 2 other people now in her office listening as well.
Ah, very nice.
Yes. I said, bring them by the studio. We'll do some autographing. All right, now moving on here. One big, beautiful bill. The new tax relief overwhelming benefits for the working class. Now, I've read enough of this that what they're talking about here, I believe is correct. And the reason I say it is because I already see what kind of reflection it's going to make on an income tax return, which I happen to know a little bit about. And the big deal is for those making less than $50,000 will receive the largest of benefits. $600 billion of new tax relief, Jason. $600 billion with majority, I don't have a percentage, going to the workers and the families making less than $50,000. Now, here's Finance Committee Chairman Mike Capo from Idaho. He is a Republican, but obviously there are Republicans and Democrats on the Finance Committee. And and this is his quote, despite false narratives about tax cuts for billionaires and corporations, the reality is this legislation not only prevents massive across-the-board tax hikes, but also provides new tax relief for overwhelmingly to benefit low to middle class families and workers, end quote. That's from your finance committee chairman. All right. So then we move to the next deal here. Okay. If you make less than $15,000 a year, you just got new tax cut relief. That's what we'll call it, because it's more relief on when you file your taxes. That's what that means. If you're making less than $15,000 a year, you've just been helped 16.4%. That's the change in your federal taxes.
So this current year, I believe at the end of the year, they want to have some tax cuts that were going to expire, correct?
And and a lot of that's been extended, if not increased.
Okay. And that was my question.
Like child tax credit.
So is this a continuation of the same thing, or is it
well,
more relief?
It's more relief.
Okay.
Because they would not be, I mean, they had new implementations here, and if they had just extended the current tax bills, then there would not be any more increases.
Yeah. They
would just continue. Okay? So if you're making less than $15,000 a year, you have just had tax relief of 16.4%. All right? So that's, and to put that into perspective, let's just say, okay, so 16 goes into 100, 16 goes into 100 6 times. That's 96. So we'll just say that. So, and the reason I say 100 is last year your taxes were $100. Now they're going to be $84. So it just helped you 16%, and technically it helped you 16.4%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you owed tax last year of $1,000, or your tax bill, doesn't mean you owed. It's the tax you had to pay. You may have paid in more money throughout the year on your W-2.
Yeah.
But so if your tax bill last year was $1,000, now it's going to be $840.60, whatever it is.
Yeah. More money in their pocket.
More money in their pocket. Okay. If you make between $15,000 and $30,000, 27.1% decrease.
Wow.
Tax relief.
And is that single?
No, that's whoever.
Okay. I didn't know if
whether you're single,
married, or
head of household, married, filing jointly, whatever.
Yeah.
This is your relief. Because see, it used to be a penalty for filing single. Now, what I mean by that is, let's just say that the standard deduction for filing single was $10,000. But the standard deduction for filing married, filing jointly was $25,000. So 2 single people only got a $20,000 deduction. 2 people that were married got a $25,000 deduction. That's called the single filing penalty. That it was an advantage to get married for tax purposes.
I see.
Now it's not like that. So if the standard deduction, which actually this is going to that standard deduction this year for married filing jointly is right at $30,000, and I don't have the exact number, but right at $30,000, and the standard deduction for a single person is $15,000. So there's no there's no disadvantage for being single where there used to be.
I see.
All right, moving right along here, $30,000 to $40,000 income, 9.5%. $40,000 to $50,000, 7.2%. Okay, and if you remember, Americans earning $50,000 or less, and that just went 16 to 27 to 9.5 to 7.2.
I see a decline in this.
Well, it's because the more money you're making.
Right.
Yeah, decline. That's right. Heading towards millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, just so you know, the folks making $500,000 to $1 million, their tax relief was 2.7. Yes. Now, what you also got to think about here is the millionaires who probably employ the people who make less than $50,000.
Yeah.
Majority of these cuts are going to those working class American citizens. 27.1% is strong. And me doing taxes for 35 years myself, I know $50,000 to $30,000 hits a lot of people. You'd be amazed at what people live off of or don't live off of.
Right.
Yes. So let's just go on up here, 100 to 150,000. That's 4.2%. All right. So that's basically half of what the 30 to 40,000 earners received in tax cuts at 9.5%. So on and on and on, over $1 million, 3.3%. Now see, the over $1 million at 3.3 actually have another half point over the 500 to $1 million at 2.7. And 2.7 was the lowest tax cut was making $500,000 to $1 million. Where, and I told you 3.3 over $1 million, 200,000 to 500,000 is 3.5%. So it's all right in that range right there. But saying all this is anybody making over $100,000, the biggest relief you could get was 4.2%. And the least is 2.7. We go back over here to the less than $50,000 a year earners, 27.1 down to 7.2. With 80% of that number being the 16.4, the 27.1, or the 9.5. It is a bona fide real tax relief for that. Here's the deal. It's going to affect their pocketbook in a positive way.
Yeah.
And they spelled it out for you through the earned income credit, the child tax credits. Those are the things that you fall into when you're below $50,000. And here's one. How do you like this one? A tax deduction on made in America automobiles. When you finance a made in America automobile, you get to write the interest off. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay.
Because I've heard highlights of.
Yeah. When I first started preparing taxes, the personal interest was a deduction on the Schedule A, which is the itemized deductions. Either take that standard deduction of $30,000, or if your itemized deductions are more, then you take the itemized deductions, which is house interest, property taxes, contributions, medical, non-reimbursed employee business expenses at one time, and personal interest. Personal interest got phased out a good 15 plus years ago. So now, if you buy an American automobile, you get to deduct the interest. Has nothing to do with itemized deductions. It does not have to be over there. You pay interest on an American-made car loan, you get to deduct that interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my understanding is it just needs to be assembled here in America, not maybe the parts may be sourced from wherever.
You know more about that than me. It just says made in America.
Yeah.
So what? Hopefully that we know what that means.
Chevys, your Fords. I'm assuming, even like electric vehicles, Tesla, etc.
Tesla's a Texas product.
California and Texas, yes.
Still got things going on in California?
I think so. They may be trying to transition to here, though. Don't forget Toyota.
Let's talk about yes. Let's talk about the no tax on certain income.
Okay.
And there's three big ones. First one is no tax on tips.
Yes.
Which off the show here, I've told you I am totally against. No tax on tips. So you have to be in the service rendered business to not pay tax. They are forcing you to go get in service rendered business. Bellman, waitress, waiter, those kind of jobs where your money comes from tips. And if you get tips, you do not have to pay tax on that. Average wage for a person on tips is $2.13 an hour.
I wanted to look up to see what percentage of the workforce is in the service industry. Quick Google.
Yep.
79%.
Well, that sounds awful high.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that does not. I mean,
approximately 79% of the workforce in the United States is employed in the service industry, according to Statista and Trading Economics.
well, I can tell you this. For 35 years of preparing tax returns, 79% of my clientele is not service rendered industry. Not anywhere close. Not anywhere close.
And I'm wondering if that number is not necessarily one that they include, do you get tips or not?
It is also, Jason, the biggest area of where the federal government gets cheated by people not turning in all their tips.
Oh, you know they don't.
Yes.
As long as it's cash, I would bet they don't.
That is correct. And of course, now that there's so many credit cards.
Yeah.
And now there's record of that.
Yeah.
For sure. But no tax on tips. You were singling out an area where if I'm not in the service render business, service-oriented business, and I know preparing tax returns is service, but that's not what we're talking about here. I don't get a tax relief for that. But you go make 50 grand and you make $85 a week in wages at $2.13 an hour. So you make less than $5,000 a year of your $50,000 that you had to pay tax on. You get $45,000 in this example of tax-free money. Now, here's one I'm big time in favor of. No tax on overtime. If you're willing to work extra, you're willing to be there, because when you work overtime, you usually get time and a half. Yeah. Then you got the double pay on the weekends or the holidays, whatever. So you're actually paying more tax.
Right. Now, percentage-wise?
Over the course, because the more money you make, the higher your tax bracket goes up.
Gotcha. Because you end up in a different tax bracket. Is that
potentially, right? Yeah. Especially when you put your spouse's income there with you together.
Right.
So where I gave you the example on the waiter or waitress and making $50,000 a year and getting their taxable income down to $5,000 by not having to pay tax on tips. But I'm out here making $50,000 a year in the workforce at the factory, and I get $10,000 worth of extra overtime hours this year. I got to not only pay tax on that $10,000, I got to pay more tax because it may put me into a different tax bracket. So my $10,000 turns into $6,000.
Yeah.
So no tax on overtime, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah. Quick correction: when I filter down to those service jobs that also get tips, it's closer to 2 to 2.5%.
That sounds real big.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that sounds
closer to the actual number. Yeah.
Yes. That's a big deal right there. And then no tax on Social Security, 100%. In my eyes, you should never have taxed Social Security.
Yeah.
Okay. What is Social Security income? It is a tax you've already paid.
Right.
So they've taken it out of your check for 50 years.
Yep.
And then now they're going to give it back to you because you're now a senior citizen. So they took tax out of my check. Now they're going to get back to me, and now I got to pay tax again. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Makes no sense at all. But the Social Security Administration, that's why it's about to go broke, because it doesn't make any sense to them either. They don't know what to do with the money except spend it. And they have. 2035, that's the big day. 30%, we will have a 30% deficit on what we need to pay out money in 2035, according to today's numbers. But no tax on Social Security, absolutely not. Now, there's also always been on, if you didn't have other earned income, you would not pay tax on your Social Security. But now what they're allowing you to do is, doesn't matter what you make, you won't have to pay tax on your Social Security. Now, as we've already talked about, and just highlighting a little bit here of the $600 billion new tax relief in this deal, basically for the middle class households. One of their big points here was cutting $1.5 trillion in spending. Now, think about this. They're cutting $1.5 trillion in spending. So we're cutting spending 1.5 trillion. And we're giving out more money than we did last year. Is that how much beef and fat that there is in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, you know it.
We can cut out $1.5 trillion and not just keep the $1.5 trillion. Cut out $1.5 trillion and give out more money than we've ever given out. Or I wouldn't say ever given out, but it's right there. It has got to be, well, what was it always with that with the president? Drain the swamp or whatever it is, and those kind of things. And I know there's been a ton of cuts. We haven't heard a whole lot about how that's affected those departments. Would you say it's because it probably hadn't affected them a whole lot?
I truly believe that the projects, a lot of these projects that are created just to keep people employed.
I told you the other day on this show how they were blaming the cuts at the National Weather Association or department or whatever on not telling them about the floods.
Yeah. Well, I think companies are taking that page from Elon's book where he went in and cut out 80% of the workforce there. Yet Twitter still functions just like it always has. No hiccups, nothing.
Yeah, we haven't discussed that little relationship between the Tesla dude and the president of the United States.
I don't know where that stands. It was great, then it was rocky, then I thought it was okay, and then I think it got rocky again.
Hey, here's one we need to look into, and I did not have time to go into this one. Creating Trump accounts for every American newborn. Don't know about what all that is.
I don't either.
So anyway, did you also see in here where money's been set aside to finish off the wall?
Good.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yep. To finish up the wall. Money's been set aside to completely from whatever, I guess, water to water from the Gulf of America, excuse me.
Yes.
I almost said Mexico.
To the Pacific.
Let's just call it from the Gulf to the Pacific.
It's going to take us a while to get used to that one.
Yes. And that goes right along with all this other stuff, ICE and illegal immigrants, et cetera, et cetera. And I will also tell you this, being in the tax business, one of the biggest, the biggest group of people who have not paid their share of tax over the course of time is the Hispanics. Come over illegal, don't have a social security number, don't have a green card, frankly, don't have anything.
Mm-hmm. And
they don't pay tax. And they get jobs to where a big deal's the landscaping. They come down, IRS come down real hard on landscaping about a decade ago because you've got this guy out here doing it the right way, paying payroll, taking out tax, doing whatever it is he's got to do, maybe workman's comp, etc. He can't compete with the guy over here that is bringing in illegals, paying them cash, and not taking out tax. He can't compete with him. Number one, those guys want those jobs where there's no tax. And number two, the owner of that landscape company can charge a less price because he don't have to worry about the tax. So that is a whole big deal right there where it started with 1099s. I mean, the reason, the main reason the IRS wants 1099s, just like they want with a W-2, so they can see the kind of income you've made. And then, and once again, just like in the mafia, they're holding you accountable for what they want. They make you hand out keep up with the records and hand out the 1099 for this person who's not even your employee, so that they can now take that information and collect tax. It's just like this. You want to sell goods in the United States of America, you got to go get a sales tax permit and collect their money and pay them their tax money, their sales tax money. Doesn't make any sense.
Mm-mm.
And if you don't do it, you get penalized. If you're 1 minute late,
oh yeah,
you get penalized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. with their money.
Yeah. But then they 60, 90 days to get any monies back from them if there was overpayment or whatever.
I was so busy today. People were standing outside the door trying to get in. I was so busy today selling and collecting your sales tax, I didn't have time to go to the computer and plug in how much sales tax we had due. But I get penalized for that.
Yeah.
Now I know they give you 20 days to do that, but it's just it's legalized mafia is what it is. And a little bit more on the Hispanic situation. In our business, we do a lot of payroll, and we do payroll for service rendered. You know, when I said a while ago that I don't like the deal of no tax on tips, I have several clientele that are restaurants. That is their whole, that we print checks for a couple of hundred employees and W-2s that are waiters and waitresses.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to them.
Yeah.
That's why I hear on Money, Motivation, and Mike, we tell it how it is, whether you like it or not. And in that particular deal right there, we'll get W-4s from the business owner is obligated to get a W-4 filled out. Name, address, social security number, married, single, whatever it is. And then they have to sign it. Okay. Then they give it to us. We got to put it in the system so we'll know what kind of taxes take out of their check. You'll have 4 different people with the same social security number. And none of them has that social security number.
Yeah.
That's
no telling where that came from.
Sitting on this side of the table, doing these taxes and seeing the things that I have seen makes me very supportive of what has been going on over the last several months, a year, whatever it's been now, with the United States enforcing. If you are here illegally, you need to go home, go back to wherever it is you need to go. Because we've let them in. They don't pay tax. And now how much money are we spending to get them returned back to their homes?
Well, and that part of that big, beautiful bill was a significant increase for ICE.
Here it is right here. This is the cliff note. Permanently securing our borders by finishing the border wall and hiring thousands of new ICE officers and Border Patrol agents. Doesn't give a number. It just tells you the highlight of there's been money spent on that particular deal.
$170 billion earmarked.
For that particular subject?
Yeah.
170.
That's says overall increase. The bill allocates a total of $170 billion for immigration enforcement and detention, which new detention buildings, the wall, all that's included. Enforcement and removal itself, $29.9 billion.
I'd be anxious to see how all that works out. Nevertheless, there's your highlights on one big, beautiful bill. So for your 5 minutes of reading in the morning with the 7 things you need to do before you get 7 o'clock in the morning, go read the new big, beautiful bill.
That will take you a couple of years if you're spending about.
Well, go do the highlights like what we talked about today.
All 85,000 pages of it.
Go find out where you fall into on this wage category and see how it's going to affect you. And good for the government for making a large tax relief to that 50,000 and below. That's well done, well said, very, very good.
I think that'll help the economy.
It's a big tax win for the hardworking middle-class Americans of these United States of America.
There you go.
You can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcasts. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which Jason puts out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. Also, make notes at the bottom, right? Tell us how you feel.
Like, comments, subscribe.
Like comments. Excuse me. Not very technical on that stuff. So once again, for Money, Motivation, and Mike, and everyone who's been a part of this show, continue to live your life the right way.